I am a Beyblade YouTuber. Spinning toys, that's like my job. But even so, I still suck at Beyblades. I think I've made like 10 of these tournament videos, and yet I haven't even gotten close to winning a single one. But guys, today might be my day, because today Nightwing, another Beyblade YouTuber, is hosting a second tag team tournament. Now, I participated and made a video about his first tag team tournament a couple months ago, where I paired up with the Beyblade genius William. But even with the young prodigy, we still failed to even make it into the top 10. So of course, when I heard about the second tournament, I signed up right away, and the first thing I did was call my man William. But he was busy, and he's more of a Bakugan guy now, so I decided to go with my next best option, my friend Toby.
Oh, I know this one. It's El Drago.
Yeah, the odds of us winning this one aren't really that high, but anyway, we hopped into my steaming hot car and drove to Baltimore, Maryland to participate in the tournament. When we got there, the place was absolutely filled with competitors. There was a total of 32 people competing, which to me was insane, because it feels like every time I talk to someone about Beyblades, they're always surprised that it still exists. Anyway, although there were a lot of people that we had to crush, Toby and I, we weren't really that worried, because we were practicing snapping Beyblades necks in the back.
Noah, I don't think we stand a chance. That kid's got a sextuple Beyblade compartment.
For our first round, we were going up against Team Striker. They were using a Judgment Dragon and a Greatest Raphael, two pretty strong Beyblades. Battle number 1 was a breeze. We didn't even have to do anything. The opponent's Beyblades both just like jumped out of the stadium. And for the second battle, Toby harnessed the power of Hello Kitty. He literally hit Greatest Raphael into his teammate's Beyblade, causing both Beyblades to burst on the spot. And that is the power of a billion-dollar kitty franchise, guys. Capitalism. Anyway, with a crazy first win under our belts, we started to get a lot of attention, and people started to notice that I was the big famous YouTuber LeftBurst, and Toby and I, we were getting pretty confident. Maybe a little too confident. Especially Toby, who was trying to trick people into thinking he was Jake.
Well, not first.
Jake?
Not first, Jake.
Anyway, soon enough, our next round opponents were announced, and it was none other than the father and son duo, Team Humblebees. In the last tag team tournament, they placed in the top 3, so this next battle was not going to be easy. We decided to go with the same combo we used last round since it worked so well. We launched our Beyblades into the stadium at full power. Since I had a left spinning bay and Toby had a right spinning bay, our plan was to just share spin between each other and outspin our opponents. However, they had a different plan. They were using 2 super strong combos: Dynamite Kirby's Illegal Bearing Mobius and Devil Lucifer Illegal Bearing Drift. And they just blocked our Beyblades from hitting each other, giving them the first match. And the second match didn't really go as planned either. Our strongest Beyblade, Hello Kitty, was knocked out in the first few seconds, and sadly, my red El Drago Beyblade, as Toby would like to call it, didn't stand a chance in a 2v1. This means to make it into the finals, to even have a chance at winning this tournament, we couldn't afford to lose another round. So with so much at stake, before our third round, I sat down and tried to think of the best strategy possible, and I came up with this realization. Hello Kitty is like by far the best Beyblade combo we have, so why am I not using it as well? I would like to introduce you guys to Green Hello Kitty, also known as the Hulk. This is the Beyblade I'm going to be using in the third round, so let's practice it against some children.
3, 2, 1.
And soon enough, we were called to our third round. Our opponent's name was Team Stamina, by far the best type in Beyblade Burst, but also the lamest. Don't tell them I said that. Anyway, although their name was kind of scary, they weren't ready for the Double Kitty combo. The first round, we easily took out their Vanish Helios and Prime Apocalypse Beyblades. And the second round, it was no different. It almost seems unfair. Like, look how big our Beyblades are and look how small theirs are. All right, Toby, I think we figured out a good strategy.
Yeah.
Play lame, win game. After sweeping the floor with our round 3 opponents, we were called straight into our round 4 battle, facing off against Team Dark Duo. They were both using Prominence Layers, which features an armor that shoots out during battle, making every battle unpredictable. And unpredictable is bad, because we needed to win this match to move on to finals, and our opponents, they also needed to win the match to move on to finals. It was a high stakes battle. On the count of 3, we all launch our Beyblades into the stadium, and immediately our opponent launches their armor straight towards Toby's face. They're literally trying to kill us. But luckily for us, we had 2 of the most overpowered Beyblades in the stadium, and we absolutely destroyed them in the first battle. Then we started the second battle, and once again our opponents were out for blood, launching their armor at Toby. But sadly, this time the battle didn't go our way. You see, even though the armor on Prominence provides a lot of weight, it's actually much rounder without it, giving the Beyblade an immense amount of stamina. So without its armor, the Beyblade was able to outspin both of our kitty Beyblades, making the score tied at 1-1. It all came down to this last battle. If we won, we would move on to finals, but if we lost, it was all over, and we would lose yet another tag team tournament. We got our Beyblades set, launchers ready, and on the count of 3, we all launch our Beyblades as hard as we could. Immediately, one armor flies off, but this time it backfires and they hit themselves. Anyway, the other Prominence Layer loses its armor as well, meaning both of our opponent's Beyblades were extremely round and aerodynamic. It's not looking so good for us. Since we were all right spin Beyblades, there was no spin stealing, so it all came down to who had the most raw spin. In the end, our Hulk Hello Kitty Beyblade pulled through and we won the round. But it wasn't over yet. What are you gonna do for next round? Are you gonna change our base?
No. Would you change perfection?
Winning that round qualified us to compete in finals, where the top 4 teams faced off in a single elimination bracket. Toby and I were placed in 4th in the round robin portion, meaning we barely even made it to finals. All of our opponents are stronger than us, and it's just our luck that our first opponent in finals is the number 1 team. The only team to go completely undefeated, Team Ultimate Bladers. And while Toby and I were freaking out about our opponents, Team Trash Cans, another team that qualified for finals, were taunting us.
Hey, I want to dig a hole and put you in it.
What the frick? Like, oh my gosh, calm down. But yeah, even after all that harassment, Toby and I got our spirits up by looking at this one Hello Kitty poster. And with that, we were ready to compete in our first final match. Our opponents were using Vanish Bahamut, a legal bearing drift, and Dynamite Belial, a legal bearing drift. 2 super powerful combos, and it makes sense how they got this far. Dynamite Belial is the best stamina layer, and Vanish Bahamut is the best layer in Beyblade for spin stealing. With Bearing Drift, they had insane life after death, which for those who don't know, is a Beyblade term that refers to a Beyblade's ability to keep spinning after falling over and, well, dying. So they had one Beyblade that stays alive while the other one sucks on its nutrients. And with that vampiric strategy, they were easily able to win the first battle. For the next battle, Toby and I, we needed to do something different. So we came up with the pincer strategy. This strategy involves us teaming up on one Beyblade and crushing it to death. This is the training that we were practicing secretly in the back, and with our pincer tactics, we were able to win the second battle, making the score 1-1. However, the next battle didn't go our way, and we ended up losing again, making the score 2-1. Luckily for us, the final matches were first to 3 points, so we weren't out of the tournament yet, but if we lost the next battle, we would be knocked out. We had to play risky. So Toby and I both decided to launch our Beyblades as hard as we could, even though doing so might cause both of us to self-KO. But although it was risky, it paid off and we won the third battle, making the score 2-2. It all came down to this final battle. Again, we launched our Beyblades as hard as we could and just watched as all of our Beyblades clashed in the middle of the stadium. And with the power of life after death, we were able to win the last battle and make a comeback, guaranteeing us a spot in the last round of the tournament. Anyway, we somehow made it all the way to the last round of the tournament, and now the question is, who will be our last round opponents? The battle for the second spot was between Team Trash Cans and Team Humblebees, the team that trash talked us versus the team that we lost to earlier in the tournament. Although it was a close battle, in the end, Team Trash Cans was the winner and the team we would have to beat if we wanted to win this tournament. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was not expecting to make it this far in the tournament, so I don't really have a plan. We're just going to go in there and try to win. And let me be honest again, it's not really looking so good for us because the team that beat us, they beat. So by trade of property, they should be better than us. But nevertheless, we won the final battle, and to our surprise, our opponents were using the same exact combos, except while ours were blue, theirs were red. You can't make this up, guys. This is like truly an anime moment. Anyways, since all of our combos were basically identical, it was going to come down to a game of pure skill. Whoever had the best launch would win. So we got ready for the final round of the tournament. And immediately, Toby missed launches. Or at least I thought he missed launch when it was really all part of his plan. What was with that launch, Toby?
What do you mean? The diagonal?
Yeah.
Isn't it better? It goes farther. It goes fast.
You're right. And with this diagonal strategy, he made his stamina Beyblade into more of an attack Beyblade, knocking the opponents around, and with every hit, the opponent's Beyblade would lose a little bit of spin. And while Toby was doing that, my Beyblade was going strong.
They found the illegal Scooby snacks. That's crazy.
I do the heavy hitting.
And I just clean up.
Now for the second round, our opponents decided to change things up and go into high mode. And I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot high mode was even a thing. I forgot DB Bays could even do that. I've never even put my DB Bay in high mode. I don't know how it affects the Beyblade, so for the next round, me and Toby, because we didn't really know what high mode was, we decided to stay in low mode. Because, well, it worked so well last time, right? However, this time Toby immediately missed launches, completely missing the stadium. The diagonal launch's power came at a cost, and now it's a 2 versus 1. There are 2 Beyblades against my Hulk Beyblade. But even though it was a 2v1, they weren't really attacking me. In fact, they were kind of attacking each other. And with that, we somehow were able to win the second battle as well. We just needed one more win. One more win would guarantee us the victory. All of my tournament videos have been leading up to this very battle. And before we knew it, the battle was about to start. All 4 Beyblades were launched as hard as possible into the stadium, but this time Team Trash Can seemed to have the edge on us and were barraging our blue Beyblades with attacks. But even so, they weren't able to knock our bays out of the stadium. The final battle would be decided through a spin finish. It all comes back to the root of Beyblade. Whichever top had the most spin in the end would take it all. And with that, Toby and I became Beyblade champions and won our first ever Beyblade tournament.
We're doing jump high five. Please come at the end.
Okay, let's. Okay.